Jaden from Ripple Fed Aquatics, and today we're talking about adding aquarium soil to an already established tank. If you've been wanting to top up old soil or add new substrate to your aquarium that's already set up, this is a guide for you. I'll walk you through how to do it without disrupting your tank. Before we get started with the video, I just want to let you know I'm not sponsored by any of the brands or products I'm using in this video, including the soil and test kits. This is just my personal process and experience. For this video, I'll be using Ammonia 2, but you can use any aqua soil of your choosing. The process will be the same, but your test results will differ. Some soils will leach more or less ammonia than what I show here, so the time required to prepare the substrate will vary. When adding aqua soil to fresh water, it can release high traces of ammonia, which can be highly toxic to fish and plants. So that's why, to start us off, I filled up a bucket of soil and water so I can test the bucket and do water changes to stabilize the ammonia before adding it to the aquarium. Once the water in the bucket is settled, we want to find out how much ammonia is actually leaking into the water. So what you want to do is you want to grab the test kit, but you can use whatever test kit you like. Grab a vial from your test kit and fill the water to the water line. Then, grab your Ammonia 1 and Ammonia 2 bottles and shake them well before use. As per instructions in your test kit, add the required drops recommended. For this test kit, it's 8 drops for each bottle of ammonia. Add in one bottle at a time, put the cap back on the vial and give it a good shake before adding the next bottle in. This will make sure that each bottle has enough time to react to the water and give you a correct result. Now that both test bottles have been added to the test tube, it's time to see the results. It may take a few minutes to get the correct results. As you can see here, the vial is turning from a light yellow to a dark green. This is a very large amount of ammonia and it's very toxic to aquatic life. This is why I like to do this method. It not only makes sure your aquarium is safe, but it also teaches you how harmful it can be just chucking it straight into your aquarium. I've now let the soil sit in a bucket of water for 24 hours. Now I need to water change the bucket, fill it back up with water again. When refilling the bucket with water, I like to have something sitting on the top of the soil, like a bowl. This can help disperse the water so it's not as tough on the soil. If the water is too strong on the soil, it can cause it to break down and turn muddy. Now that the bucket's refilled, it's time to test again. Repeat the same steps as the day before until you get your results. I have continued this process once a week for the next 6 weeks until ammonia levels reached 0 or near 0. Now that Ammonia 2 is ready, I've decided to add olive and not plant laterite as well. I noticed my red plants like Rotala blood red and red tiger lotus weren't looking as vibrant as they should. Now that I've decided to add plant laterite, I will also need to wash this in a bucket. But don't worry, this only needs to be washed a few times and only takes a few minutes and doesn't require any testing. When washing, you will notice the bucket goes an orangey brown colour. This is normal because laterite is a clay-based substrate. Because of this, the water will almost always show a brown colour no matter how much you wash it. That being said, try not to overwash it because that can remove too much of the beneficial materials. After filming this, I conducted further research. I found that my current light, the Fluval Plant 3.0, isn't quite right for my new red plants and their needs. So I'm giving them a boost with the Laterite while I look into upgrading to a better RGB light in the future. Now that both my substrates are washed, ready, and showing low traces of ammonia, they're ready to go into my aquarium. But before I do that, it is best that I lower the water in my tank by about a quarter, so there's plenty of space for my new soil to go in without spilling water onto the floor and making a mess. After the tank has been drained by about a quarter, I use a cup to evenly spread the laterite across the top of my old soil. Here's a quick clip of me doing this. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a bit heavy-handed with this process. If you do this more carefully than I did, your tank won't go as cloudy, and your fish will have a better chance of staying stress-free and healthy. If the aquarium is newer, or your filter hasn't matured yet, you'll need to be extra careful. My filtration system is over 5 years old and is very robust, so it can handle shifts like this better than a newer setup. Now that the laterite is all in place, I have these root tabs that came with my Ammonia soil. I will now evenly spread these throughout my tank to give out additional nutrients for my root feeders. Now that the root tabs have been evenly placed throughout my tank, it is time to cap the laterite with my Ammonia 2 soil. To fix the cloudiness, it's best to perform a water change, but before doing so, remember to turn off your aquarium heater and filter. Now that they're both off and unplugged, it's time to do a large water change, and I'm going to do about 80%. Now that the tank has been drained to about 80%, it's time to refill it. To do this, I'm just going to use my garden hose, and just like with the bucket, I'll place a bowl on top of the soil to avoid disturbing it. Here I'm using Seachem Prime to neutralise chlorine, chloramines and heavy metals in the tap water. It also helps detoxify any remaining traces of ammonia, making the water safe for my fish. And there we have it, the substrate is in and the tank is looking great. If you've been thinking about adding soil to your established aquarium, I hope this guide has helped you see how it can be done in the safest way possible without harming your fish or plants. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, give me a like, and if you want to see more aquarium content, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.